Hey, what's up everybody? Now Onyx here with your quick 1-minute EDM tip of the day. Although today's tip is about a month late, so we'll call it EDM tip of the month. I apologize for that. I will get back on these. Just been busy producing, mastering, and mixing. And by the way, if you need any mastering or mixing done, feel free to drop me over a message on my Facebook page and I will send you over examples. Been doing a ton of them lately and everybody seems pretty stoked. For this tip, what I'm going to show you is how, or at least one way that you can add an attack or a transient hit, I don't know what you want to call it, but you can add a little pluck sound to the beginning of your synths. Now, oftentimes I find that, even my stuff included and other people's tracks, that some of the synths will get lost in the mix. It just kind of sounds like like a wall of sound. You can't really tell when the synths are hitting. Sometimes that's good, but sometimes you want a nice solid attack at the beginning of your synth, but you don't want to change the tail end of your synth. Hopefully that makes sense. So this will work with pretty much any patch. What I have done is open up the default sound, and as of now I haven't changed anything. And I also have this in my MIDI. It sounds just like this. I just picked that because it was simple and it had enough plucks in it to make this example worthwhile. So basically, like I said, you can use this for any example, for any synth patch that you have. However, depending on your settings in here, if there's too much attack, this might not work. But if you have the generally basic settings and your synth has a normal amount of attack, this should definitely work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take envelope 2. I usually use envelope 1 for adjusting the parameters of like pitching and stuff. So we'll use envelope 2, but feel free to use envelope 1 if you want. And you're going to route it to the amp just like that. Okay, so you notice the amp was off, and you want to keep it like that, and you want to route to just like this. Then for this example, I'm going to go and change it to a smooth square. Now, again, if you're using your own patch, use whatever sound you want and do whatever you need. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up to 24, which is just, I usually like to have this transit hit, I call it, a bit higher. It gives a cooler effect you'll hear in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and place that attack all the way down, this decay all the way down, and this level all the way down. For this example, the release doesn't really matter and everything else can stay the same. So let's go ahead and play this and we'll see what happens. Okay, you notice it sounds pretty much the same as before. Now I'm going to start adjusting the attack, the decay. So basically what you notice is, by adjusting this decay, you can add a little pluck sound at the beginning of your synth without changing the rest of your synth. Now, normally you're like, well, I can just use normal envelope 4 and adjust the quote-unquote pluck sound. Well, you can, but that's going to, depending on how you route it, most likely adjust the entire pluck sound of the synth. So if you just want to quote-unquote add a pluck sound on top of a sound you already have, and you have an open oscillator, then you can go ahead and do that. And like I said, this is without that, and then adds a nice little pluck there. Obviously you can and then if you open it all the way up, cut the synth will come all the way through. But just to add attack, just to add a attack transit and a little hit there, that's all you need to do. Pretty simple. But I find it effective oftentimes when the synth is kind of lost in the mix and I want it just to punch through a little better, or if you just need to emphasize the rhythm on something, it works really well. Hopefully I helped you guys. I was definitely a bit longer than a minute, but I wanted to make sure I explained it as best I could. You got any questions, feel free to drop me a message. If you need anything mastered or mixed, drop me a message as well. Alright, I appreciate it, guys. Take care. Peace.